So I will tell you from the perspective of a former Army helicopter pilot myself and a former senior Pentagon official that the American people should sleep soundly in their beds tonight, knowing that what they saw last night, the bravery, the flawlessness, the expert level of elite execution that is hard to overstate, are the ones keeping watch day in and day out 24/7, 365 days a year. That operation that we saw last night, it was bin Laden raid level planning, preparation, training, and execution. It does not get better than what we saw last night. The 160th Aviation Unit, the Night Stalkers, they are the best aviation units on the planet. And they showed last night just how their training 365 days a year pays off, that they can go into an area where they have never been before and they are able to execute in a very short amount of time and accomplish the mission. So the American people should be very proud of their military right now.
Tremendous military operation. There's no question about that. I guess I would ask you, given your experience in the first Trump administration, how this all fits into what some might describe as kind of the quote unquote Trump doctrine. Someone in President Trump who's spoken over the years a lot about, ending endless wars or not even engaging in what might be considered to be regime change. How do the events of today, carried out by this president, fit with the President Trump that we've known since, he emerged politically a decade ago? That's the kind of, is this, essentially, is this an America first type of an operation?
So yeah, that's actually a great question, because when people sometimes think of America first, and how that fits in around the world where we have adversaries, we have bad actors, we have terrorist organizations and cartels that want to kill us, that want to hurt the American people, that want to degrade our borders and, infiltrate drugs and cartels to wreak havoc on our citizens. I think so many people who say they want an America first agenda is exactly what they saw last night. A precise and precision operation. Nobody wants forever wars. Nobody wants 20 more years in the Middle East, including President Trump. He's been very clear about that. But an America first agenda does not mean that he is not going to protect the America people and do what is best for our country. His number one job is our national security, to ensure the safety and security of the American people. And that's exactly what he did. So these types of operations where you go in, you accomplish the mission, and you get out, that's what the American people want when it comes to military operations, not these long, drawn out conventional wars that spend taxpayer dollars and our blood and treasure of our military. They have been incredibly transparent about this operation. I would say that the Department of War, this is unprecedented. That press release that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff did today with the Secretary of State and the President and Secretary of War, that was, you don't see that. That was incredibly, it obviously sent a significant message to our adversaries, to China, to Iran, to Russia, that what you saw last night can happen to you. If you don't want to listen to what the president has said, which is very clear that our adversaries should take the president at his word. The president has talked about Venezuela and the problems that exist and how they should, what it should sort of look like moving forward. So it would be in probably their best interest to listen to him. Well, but in terms of the press release, yes, that was, that transparency was pretty significant.
Let me just one more thing on that, Amber, before I let you go, on Russia and China in particular, because we talked about this earlier in our coverage. So the way you described it is certainly one way this could all be taken. Others say that Putin could look at this and say, well, if you did this to Maduro, Mr. Trump, well, what's to stop me from doing it to Zelensky in Ukraine? Or Xi Jinping in China could look at this and say, what's to stop me from doing this to the leader of Taiwan? What would you say to that?
I would say the same argument could be made for the decision President Trump made with Iran as well. There's always a risk, and that's why you want an incredibly strong leader to be our commander-in-chief, who is tasked with making those incredibly hard decisions and weighing those risks. Peace comes through strength, and that is what was demonstrated last night. It was a very quick, challenging, an expert levelly executed mission. And I think that message right there is what's being sent to our adversaries.